Hello and welcome to Her Matters. I am your host. My name is Chioma Omero.
Culture of silence. Again, silence, because if you even try to say, oh, he did this to me, she did this to me, people then say, where's your proof? Are you sure?
Now, what I've seen is parents are not talking to their daughters and their sons. They are not talking to them. So when
people now think that if someone in the medical profession or in healthcare or in that field carries out the process, it would be safer.
The other part of it is the way we structured our healthcare system to actually selectively, remove these pre-telemedicine vendors out of the entire health loop. We don't officially recognize them, but there's a significant role they have to play.
Welcome back to the second part of this extended episode on Her Matters. And on this part, we're going to be talking to Oluwapelumi Alesinloye-King. She is a sexual reproductive health expert. Yes. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here to help us expatiate on these issues that we're about to talk about. So we're going to get right into it. And I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. The first off is talking about sexual health, reproduction, and rights. Now, is there a definition? Is there a definition? Like a proper definition?
Okay, so it's basically, we really can't say there's just one particular definition. If we needed that, we need to consult WHO. But it's basically, when we say health, total well-being of a person, the absence of disease or infirmities. So this basically means when the sexual organs, reproductive organs, and everything that is associated with it are in perfect health. As you said, there's the sexual health part, there's the reproductive health part, which is a lot. There has been a lot of work around reproductive health, which is contraception. Mm-hmm. Sexual health hasn't really gotten a lot of coverage because things around sex is usually hush, things about sexual health, pleasure, things that are pretty much important to the health of human beings. Yes. And with my work, with my current and my past work, it has been a point of contact to make sure that we are providing sexual health information where people can ask questions. Oh, I feel this certain way. Is it normal? Mm-hmm. I want to do this. I feel pain. Is it normal? Or what can I do about it? Or how can I get pleasure? How can I reach this? How can I do this? How can I do that? We've been able to provide content that answers questions, people's questions, non-judgmental answers and accurate information. So for example, on a personal note, I'm a sex educator. I'm also currently studying to be a certified holistic sex educator.
Oh, nice.
So that way I churn out content on my social media pages, things that, when is the right time to have sex? What do I do? Is it supposed to be painful? How do I get pleasure? What does kink mean? Things like that people usually do not talk about. But I do that, in addition to talking about contraception, access to safe abortion and the likes. Nice. And just a whole lot. So I basically do an intersection of everything so that nobody is left behind and no topic is left behind.
So now we know how important it is for individual women, the sexual health and reproductive. We know how it's important for us. Yeah. How important is it for our other people maybe in the family structure? Why is it important that we are healthy for them?
Well, so basically you can't, as I said, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You need to be totally healthy, and you cannot say somebody is in total health if their sexual health is lacking. There's always going to be. So it's, for example, let's say there's a couple, one partner is always sexually unsatisfied, or they're finding it hard to get pleasure, they have a particular a particular condition that is hampering them from getting the kind of pleasure they need sexually from their partner or maybe solo-wise. It would show, it would reflect in the way they work. It's just that sometimes you would ask them, oh, what's wrong with you? I'm fine. It's a lie, they're not fine. They just can't talk about those things. Sometimes you see couples have rifts You know, and they go to meet maybe their pastor or counselor, and like, what happened? And the man or the woman will be like, you see this my partner, don't worry, we'll settle it. You know, these things reflect in your work, it reflects in your day-to-day activities because you are unsatisfied and we don't talk about these things. So people do not have an opportunity to actually seek help so that they can be in total health, which includes sexual and reproductive health.
Now, I wanted to ask you, on our previous episodes, we've addressed the issue of female genital mutilation and how it affects the well-being of us. Yeah. Even so, not just survivors, but even maybe indirectly affecting the rest of us. Yeah. Now, how critical is it when considering the composite issue of sexual and reproductive health? How important is it? Because I know we've hopped on it a bit, but yes, I want to get that from you and your opinion.
Yeah, so female genital mutilation is one of the biggest issues under sexual and reproductive health. It is a theme on its own under sexual and reproductive, because women and girls who have gone through this are unhealthy, you know, where they haven't gotten care afterwards. You know, for some people, they are lucky to get therapy, they're lucky to get some form of medical treatment of some sort to try to return their body to the way it was. But for those who have not been able to get that, there's that issue that constantly arises. It reflects in their sexual health, in their reproductive health. For example, inability to have sexual pleasure. So for others that went through type 3 or type 4 of female genital mutilation, when they want to have babies, it's pretty hard because they were sewn short. You know, so that causes
there are levels of it.
There are levels, there are levels. You know, there's the tiniest one where they just cut, not really tiny, short, because it's all horrific, you know. There are some where they just cut they cut the clitoris. There's another one where they cut the labia majora, the bigger one. Some they cut the smaller one. And there's the worst one where they cut off everything. They cut off everything, the external genitalia, and they sew it short, you know, in hopes that when she gets married, her owner, which is her husband, will untie it, you know, with a blade before he, you know, to show that I'm the owner of this place. I came in you. So you can imagine what effect that would have. You know, you're slicing someone open and having, you know, intercourse with them, and you expect them to be fine. There's bleeding, risk of infections, risk of death. That's why it's a very, very critical sexual and reproductive health issue. You know, also when they want to have babies in labor or delivery, some
it becomes a problem.
Would die. There's the chance of fistula. There's the chance of infections, and so much more. So it is a very, very big deal that, unfortunately, we haven't really gotten to the number of reductions we'd like to get to. But there's still a lot of work being done. At least it's better than from years before. But I hope that with constant advocacy, we would be able to drop
the numbers.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get a last word from you real quickly on just the talk of rights to own your body, know your body, do what you want to do with your body, because it is your body.
Yes.
I want you to talk about that, your thoughts, your opinions, how you feel about it. What can we do to help, if anything? That's going to be our final word, and then we're going to...
Okay, so I'm really a big fan of reproductive justice, which means people have the right to do what they want with their bodies, however they want. Like, I mean, I'm talking in terms of reproductive issues now. But unfortunately, we live in a country or in a climate where reproductive justice is not considered. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't care about it. You know, where the government feels like they have a right over your body, they have the right to decide. You know,
what you can or cannot do.
You know, it's as worse as the other day I went with my sister to get contraception, and the first question this male pharmacist asked was that, "Are you married? How
is it concerning you?
What's the correlation? You know, honestly, if I had a choice, I would have opted for a female pharmacist instead of a male pharmacist. But you know, that just further reinforces the injustice that we keep talking about. Like, he kept on saying, when your husband is ready for another baby, I kept on interjecting him. I'm saying that when she is ready for another baby, you can't say that. people have the right to decide if they want to have children.
If and when.
You know, if and when.
And if not.
And if not, how many they want to have, and whatever they want to do, and if they want to go ahead with a pregnancy or not. But unfortunately, our climate and our country still do not respect women's reproductive rights, and hopefully with the advocacy, with kind of advocacy we have been doing, we'll finally get to that day where we'll be like,
it's your body, do what you
your
want.
body, do what you want with it.
Thank you so much, Pelumi. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming and shedding so much light and just teaching us all. And I guess they say, as you know better, you do better.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
I'm so glad that I know better now, talking to you. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. That's our show today. I'd like to say a big thank you to our principal partners, Worthy. We want to say a big, big, big thank you for letting us use their beautiful space, the Herbert Weaver Foundation, and of course, Hasty Health Initiative. Until the next episode, stay safe and take care of each other.